The economy is slowing down, but the consumer spending is actually not. If you look at the data, the growth rate of consumer spending for city dwellers is roughly at 6.8% last year. Okay, for rural area, it's even 10% growth rate. So that means the spending is not slowing down. It's actually growing at quite healthy level. Having said that, we do observe different slowdowns in different retailing areas. So if you decompose the spendings into different categories, we do observe the spending for food and clothing, they both are decreasing. Actually decreasing, not slowing down, decreasing, okay, in terms of percentages, okay. But what is increasing is the healthcare. And in rural areas, people are spending more on education. My take on that data is generally people are becoming richer and richer, okay, no matter you're in the city or in the villages. Now, when you are rich, you tend to spend less on ordinary necessary items like food and clothing. You do tend to spend more on stuff that will increase your life quality on other aspects, like education, like healthcare, like entertainment, those things. Okay, so the people are actually shifting towards other categories. The growth rate in the car industry has been, slowing down throughout the years from 2014. Okay, it's the particular hit last year, and that might partly comes from the people's willingness to spend for the future. In the past, people have a positive expectation for the future income. Now that expectation of their salary growth has been less optimal, so they tend to be more stringent on their large amount of spending. But if you look into the white goods sales, if you look into communications, if you look into cell phone sales, they're not slowing down. It's just the car. One example is Innisfree. It's a Korean firm specialized in skincare products. They came to China in 2004, and within 2 years, it has to withdraw from the market. Okay, it's a huge fail. Okay, no one buys. They came to China assuming only foreign skincare products should be premium. And they believe that they look at the success of L'Oreal, they look at the success of other French brands, they say, well, we can do it. They couldn't. So in 2012, 6 years after their first try, they came back to Chinese market with a totally different positioning and branding strategies. Okay, they now position themselves be a more younger brand, more natural, and targeted at the girls at a younger age. And because of the younger age, their income level was, disposable income is relatively limited. So the Korean brand actually shaped their pricing strategies towards their targeted customers. And it has been very, very successful. This is the one example that has been failed, and they come back with a modified strategy because they actually find the proper segment of consumers within the Chinese consumers. Okay, they find a small segment, which in terms of proportion is small. When it comes to absolute numbers, it's actually a huge market. When you look into Chinese consumers nowadays, actually, if you look at the pyramid of the Chinese consumers' willingness to pay, actually, I believe there are 3 levels. The bottom level is what we call aspirers. Those consumers, they are looking for things that can increase their life quality. So they don't have a TV. So any TV that's crappy quality, as long as it shows something on the screen with a color, it's going to be good enough. So those are people who aspire to have a better life quality, aspirers. And the number is not small. Okay, it's roughly 300 million. Okay. The second category, I call them shoppers. They are relatively okay, relatively middle class. But when it comes to shopping or consuming, they do comparison shopping. They have to compare the prices, the attributes, the brands, the particular features of the products. And those shoppers are very difficult to satisfy. And they are actually the majority of the Chinese consumers nowadays. And the third category, what I call them affluent. By affluent, I do not mean their income level. I mean that they are less price sensitive to a certain product, so they just take the highest quality. If you look into the three categories of consumers, okay, you have to figure out where you want to go. In which segment you will be facing more competition. Is your cost structure, is your production technology suitable for that particular category or suitable for another category? You have to figure this out by yourself.